the remaining pages of a journal allegedly belonging to former Washington Advisor reporter Cinque Solomon, which was mailed anonymously to the headquarters of the National Center for the Missing and Abducted just days prior to his reported death. The Washington Advisor newspaper also received a separate note leading them to the remainder of Solomon's reporting, including evidence of doctored police reports pertaining to the Blackman murder, a link to a video capturing Blackman's death, as well as Solomon's interview notes. If you are reading this, I'm probably dead or soon will be. All evidence of what I would have exposed has been destroyed and witnesses murdered, leaving nothing more than rumor, speculation, and elaborate conspiracy theory supposedly created to rationalize my actions, which will undoubtedly be discredited like those alleged by the San Jose Mercury News reporter. So I won't say any more about that. Only try to explain my perspective, which you will never be told on the news, the internet, around the company water cooler, or even in the barbershops and beauty salons. Hopefully those exposed to it will be able to read between the lines and find some hidden value for their own lives. Over the past few days, law enforcement authorities and the media have accused me of several things. Most of it has been untrue. I did not kill Lisa Stanton, nor the 2 police officers. But what is true is that I've been running most of my life. Ran so long and so far without looking, I ended up back where I started and ran dead into what I was running from in the first place. That's the problem with running away. Sooner or later, you'll have to face up, whether you want to or not. Ironically, my mother named me Cinque, after the enslaved African prince who led a bloody rebellion aboard the slave ship, the Amistad. That Cinque never ran away. He fought nearly to his death for his people's freedom, eventually leading to those captured Africans getting their freedom in the U.S. courts. Maybe she meant for me to be a brave liberator like him. Too bad I didn't realize and live up to it earlier. Stood my ground and fought sooner, the right way. I may have been able to liberate my mother from her addiction, free my sister from her daily attraction to Troy Watkins, save my relationship with Now and the lives of Ho and Lisa, as well as free myself from the nightmares, the secret or the guilt that their deaths left behind, giving me the strength to expose the committee and liberate the thousands that were taken, whether they deserved it or not. But I didn't, couldn't. Like Bigger Thomas in that book, Native Son, I was simply a victim of it, a slave to it. It was the game. No, not the game as you know it, or at least you think you do. Not something captured in the pages of some street novel, pimping the legacies of Iceberg Slim or Donald Goines, supposedly meant to dissuade you from such lifestyles, only to further glamorize them. Not smoking weed, popping bottles, or sexing women, or something etched on a hip-hop CD cover, claimed by countless MCs captured in videos on BET and MTV, making you desire, even kill for, an often unattainable lifestyle that even many entertainers themselves don't really lead, but just rent to make the video. That's not the game, but only the spaces on the board. I mean, I thought I was above it, escaped the projects, went to college, pledged a prestigious black fraternity, found a career and excelled, fell in love with a progressive lady, and was finally able to leave my past where it was. In the process, I came upon a new game, one that the middle-class blacks told me to play to get ahead. Even thought I was beating it by blending in, dressing and talking the part, doing everything I was supposed to do to be a success. Started to believe that I can make a difference, level the playing field not only for black folks, but also for anyone else pissed or pimped by the system. That's why I became a reporter in the first place. I know I sound a little idealistic and naive, maybe even a little radical, but I really thought I was meant to be the worst nightmare of the arrogant and powerful. Those who thought God had granted them free reign to do as they would without accountability, or anyone else for that matter who was crooked or dirty. I was an intelligent, inquisitive black man with a pen and a platform. After all, that's why slaves were never allowed to read and write. Sooner or later, they would become too dangerous. But even now, I was still being played. And how could I not? Especially when everyone else was too. The public, the politicians, the police, the rest of the media. Hell, even the damn drug dealers and white supremacists who all thought they operated outside the law, outside the system, were actually doing the bidding of someone inside it, whether consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally. We all had strings. I started to understand that, or at least thought I did. Things had to work that way. Wheels had to be greased, tickets had to be punched, and favors were cashed in. Things were always carefully choreographed, especially those things political. Depending on the hidden agenda, public sentiment was either followed or manipulated. Information was always leaked to the media, so someone would lose position for others to gain advantage. Overnight, friends became enemies while enemies became allies, all based on time and situation, regardless of history or even relationship. Someone had to be the fall guy, the boogeyman. It was all one great big chess game. As much a part of being a player among the powerful in Washington, D.C. and in corporate America as being a player in the streets, or so was thought. Ironically, that was part of the plan too. How the game enslaved most of us, making us think we understood it, think we're players or players, think we could master it, even think we were above it, when we were really all being played. As far as black folks were concerned, no matter how much money, no matter how much fame, they were really no real players in corporate America or players in the streets, only slaves. Now hold on. I'm not about to preach to you about some made-up Willie Lynch letter or about how the white man is keeping black people down either. Not to say that he hasn't or that we haven't done our part to do it to ourselves, because that's all part of the game as well. So let's not go there. Like some of you, what I originally thought was two different games was one and the same. Not separate, only bigger, deeper, more complex. It didn't matter whether it had been intentionally created as part of some insidious conspiracy or simply given birth to by itself, by chance, opportunity, or lack thereof. It had already infected the blood, our blood, manipulated our psyches, even made me think I was fighting against it when I was really doing its bidding. Negating myself, even taking my anger out on the wrong targets. Targets like Alcindor Sin Thomas, Rashid Sims, and even for a moment, Al Blackman, as well as others like them, never seeing the true context, only making the game stronger. The game had black people fighting and destroying each other when it was really all about the ultimate distraction. But like any who figured it out, they became targets too, were attacked, vilified, and their voices soon silenced, either temporarily or permanently, one way or another. Just as mine has, or at least will be, if you doubt what I've written and believe this was some hoax or part of some work of fiction. After all, it's a matter of life and death, possibly yours. Thank you.
So the interesting thing about Eric is that this is his game.